Okay, JosefVStalin, and welcome to, I'm not really sure what episode this is.
I think it's 8, or no, maybe 7.
7 or...
I forget which number failed.
Yeah, whatever.
That was 6, I think.
7 or 8, 8th episode of the Gamerbooth podcast. And in this podcast, we have quite an eclectic group for you. We have the ever-lovely Matt Lucky Kinswater.
Hello. Yeah, this is actually episode 6.
Okay, thanks. We have the enigmatic Doug, the Dougem.
Yo.
And a new member to the podcast, but I'm sure everyone is quite familiar with the Prince of Macedon.
What up, Prince of Macedon here.
Let's talk about Left 4 Dead 2 briefly, Matt. How do you think it compares to the first one?
Well, I don't know. Everyone basically was like raging and boycotting because they said they'd add a lot of stuff for Left 4 Dead 1 and they didn't. And then people were starting to rage that they had to pay all this extra money for content that they were sort of promised. But I don't know. I only paid like $30 because I bought it in a 4-pack, and that's pretty good. You know, I was kind of iffy on the $60, but man, it definitely was worth the whole 60 if I bought it retail, because like they improved on everything.
Yeah,
the graphics are 1,000 times better. The gore is amazing. Like, you can take a shotgun and blast a hole through a zombie, and he'll still be coming at you, and you can like see his spine and everything. It's gore-tastic.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, but in terms of Left 4 Dead 2, I definitely agree. I think they pretty much improved the game in every single last aspect. There's just so much more variety and so much more combinations.
Everything's better except for the survivors. The survivors are terrible.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I like Nick. He has Nick's cool, and Ellis has a lot of funny things to say, but Coach has a couple funny things as well, but Rochelle is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, Rochelle is like, her personality is like, I'm a girl, and that's it. And you guys have been accepted into the Total War multiplayer beta. You are Prince of Macedon. I'm sorry, Doug or Prince of Macedon.
I actually never applied to it, so no. I'm not really big into like campaign and whatnot.
Yeah, I know you're an online guy, but I was kind of wondering if sort of the multiplayer campaign would get you sort of spurred into playing campaign, because, you know, it's kind of like a fusion between the two. You still have these dynamic online multiplayer battles against other people, and at the same time you have that economic and empire building sort of background as well. So I was wondering if that would actually kind of push you and get you into campaign, but I guess not.
Well, it's an interesting idea, but I've gotten used to playing like 5-minute battles on Rome Total War and then logging off and then playing again like a week after. So a whole campaign might be too much time for me.
Oh, okay.
But it's an intriguing idea, though.
Yeah.
For me, it would be freaking awesome. It's something I've been wanting to see from the series ever since I started playing Rome Total War. It was like the idea, like you get to play against a couple of your buddies in an epic scale campaign and then be able to fight each other. Like that's awesome, because it's more of a test of your tactics, and finally you're not playing against a functionally retarded AI. You're playing against real people. Yeah. If you could do something where like you have a dedicated night of every week where you do campaign mode for an hour or two, I think it could be very doable.
Well, so the game comes out on February. I don't think there's an explicit date, but it's February 2010. So it's coming out pretty fast, 1 year after release of Empire Total War. And I know you, Prince of Macedon, have expressed a lot of sort of interest in this game because if I'm not mistaken, Napoleon is one of your favorite commanders of all time.
Yeah, this is actually the game I thought Empire Total War was going to be, but when I found out it ends right before the Napoleonic Wars, I was a little upset about that. But when I found about Napoleon coming out, then yeah, I'm going to probably be the first one at the store and pick the title up.
So I was really happy to hear that, because I didn't necessarily want to play as Napoleon for the grand campaign. But
who do you want to play as?
I want to play as like Russia or Britain and kind of slap Napoleon around a bit.
Just slap him around.
Yeah, I want to be slapping Napoleon too.
Slap that little bastard. But
slap it.
Well, he wasn't really short, but that's another issue.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You can make him short.
Yeah, I was actually joking about this, that I hope in, like, Napoleon Total War, like, they make him, like, he's, like half the size of all the other units on the battlefield. Just...
And then nobody can shoot him, but he's so low to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. He's like
Yeah, historically inaccurate, but awesome.
But I think the most interesting aspect they're adding to Napoleon Total War is the drop-in, drop-out feature. You guys heard of this?
Yes. I read about it just now.
Where essentially, like, you come to a map in the campaign, and you say, you know, you're taking over a town, and you have overwhelming forces, and you go, I don't want to fight the computer. I want the game to find me a human player to replace the computer in this battle. So it kind of creates this algorithm, and it goes out and it finds a computer player to replace the AI. So you're fighting against just one person, you know, in the context of this campaign instead of the AI. So I think that is, like, the most interesting feature that they're adding to this game because, again, you're not fighting the AI, and it's kind of like a compromise between doing a big, long campaign and, you know, sort of the 5-minute sit-down battles that the Prince is sort of into.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for him.
Yeah, and it kind of creates these a lot more interesting scenarios because whenever I play Empire Online, people kind of boil down to the same armies. You know, here's my 6 units of line infantry, here's my 6 units of skirmishers, 4 units of cavalry, and, maybe some artillery. And it's the basic structure for almost every single army in the game. And it kind of gets boring, and it kind of gets, repetitive. So I think that this feature will add a whole lot more variety to these battles.
Yeah, I think it's a really great idea. I just wonder how they're going to implement that. Like, will the player from the multiplayer lobby, will he have the option to see the armies that he can choose from, or will he just be slapped right in and, and he looks at the army and go, oh crap, I only have peasants.
Yeah.
Rage quit,
In those kinds of battles. But, that kind of feature, that would certainly make the seemingly one-sided city siege battles a lot more interesting. Like, in Medieval 2, I have a very common issue where the enemy, instead of positioning his archers in frustrating positions, he'll simply have them melee charge my general. And that's like, that's like throwing pebbles at an ironclad. It's not going to do anything. So, like, I want to see, like, my opponent be inventive and creative, because that's, like, my style. I'm desperate. I'm not going to give up easily, and I really wish the AI would be more stubborn, and not stubborn in the stupid way, but stubborn in the smart way, because then it makes everybody better commander.
So now we've talked about some, like, the most terrible games of 2009. What are some of your favorite games of 2009, some of the best? And why don't you start, Lucky?
Obviously Left 4 Dead 2. I love Left 4 Dead and zombies and all that, so I'll be playing that for, like, ever until the new one comes out. Because Left 4 Dead 1 came out, and with most games I'll buy it, play it once, and then never play it again. But like this, I played it all year until the next one came out, and now I can't stop playing the second one, and, like, replay value is just amazing.
Yeah, it's intense in that game.
And it's Valve. They're already releasing, for spring, they're releasing a new campaign where you get to meet the Left 4 Dead 2 survivors, meet the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors, and apparently you'll be able to play as the Left 4 Dead 1 survivors. I'm not positive, though. If you might just meet them, but you may be able to play as them, too.
Let me stop you there, Matt. Would you say that it's like the Flintstones meet the Jetsons of the zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
Like, I love that game because it had, like, Leonardo da Vinci in it. I thought that was just so awesome.
What?
Yeah.
What's he doing in there?
He, like, helps you build, like, guns and, like, weird mind contraptions and shit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You give them these secret codex pages.
Does Michelangelo come out and help you too, or? That would be really awesome.
That would be.
See him on the ceiling. He's like,
I don't know. I just love him because you go in and get Ezio, you got another piece of the codex, and
hey.
Yeah, and then he'll solve it. He'll be all like,
carry the one and then 2 blades.
Yeah. Or he'll be all like, this one's simple. You just move every other letter. And you're like, oh, okay, just give me my new stuff. And it's all like, bam, poison blades, and you're like, cool.
Nice.
He's a good bro.
Yeah. And then he gave you the gun thing, and I was like, cool. And then I used it once, because there's only one mission that requires it. Because you only get like 5 or 6 bullets, and I'm like, I better save them. And then I realized the game was over.
Sorry, I just think that a gun is the worst assassin's weapon ever, especially in Renaissance Italy, because guns were incredibly hard to load, made a huge sound, and created smoke, and like alerted everyone to your presence. So I'm like, why would an assassin want that? And I'm expecting in this game there's going to be like kneecap shootings like every 20 minutes, because that's what like 24 is all about. Like Jack Bauer like comes in, he's like, "Where's my daughter?" And he just like, shoots people in the kneecaps.
Bam, bam, bam.
Sir, you're at a McDonald's, and then it goes ding, 1 more hour.
It's just like